Good evening, everyone. This is day 1515 since Richard was premeditatedly murdered on Fort Bliss. Let's make sure that I'm on. It's really important for everyone to understand what's going on and the ramifications of what Richard has accomplished. You know, it's huge. So and I'm coming on very late tonight, and I'm really sorry. I apologize. It's just so much information to that's coming in. More and more people are coming forward with information, and we have to go through this information. Uh, I know it sounds like I'm repeating, but this is not a cold case. This is a very active case. There are active and ongoing investigations, many of them. In this case, it's huge. Absolutely, it has to do with criminal trafficking. And Richard was absolutely code red. It was an ordered murder because he was reporting on the criminal activity and not only reporting, but he was turning in evidence. He was turning in videos. He was speaking communicating with many agencies, even Washington, D.C. And there were audits that were taking place. Those audits in the criminal network circle was creating chaos. Something very chaotic went on. And the Walmart mass shooting was orchestrated. Um, It is absolutely not what they're telling us. And first and foremost, I want to say my condolences, our condolences, Team Find Richard Halliday's condolences go out to all the victims of the Walmart mass shooting that occurred on August 3rd, 2019. But the criminal network that has infiltrated El Paso's agencies and system there have led you to believe that things happened that day that are far different than what actually happened. It's like a matrix. They just painted a different picture. They lied. They lied. They carried on a really big scam, a con job. And when that was followed up, because it was so chaotic beforehand, they didn't do a good job. It's very easy. It's probably one of the easiest con jobs to uh, to expose um, and absolutely Richard was exposing that also. He didn't let up. He didn't let up in exposing this criminal network. And of course, I think just by being a wonderful, great person, Glendon Oakley Jr., the day of the Walmart mass shooting, exposed the criminal network. He absolutely did because he said that this group of security guards um, with M4 rifles, which are military grade rifles, were in the mall, the Cielo Vista Mall, not in the Walmart, in the mall, and that there were gunshots fired in the mall. And he said that on live TV on CNN to Wolf Blitzer. And the next day, how were they going to cover that up, right? They couldn't. What they did was they retaliated against him very quickly. And that's how you know that this was orchestrated because you can see for yourself the interview of Glennon Oakley Jr. on August 3rd, 2019, and the video of Glennon Oakley Jr. on August 4th, 2019. And in a matter of hours, he was so retaliated against that he was crying on August 4th, not because of what happened um, on August 3rd. He manned up. He was a hero, right? He manned up. He did what his military training had taught him to do, and he did it. And he even said that he did it. But what he was crying about was the response team, the criminal response team retaliating against him, which proves to scare him, to intimidate him, to threaten him. And he was then retaliated against. And we believe that Richard was reporting on things going on related to, because more and more people are coming out, and um, he was reporting on the misconduct and the criminal acts related to not only the criminal trafficking, but the Walmart mass shooting. And now with um, that happening, they retaliated against both Glenn and Oakley Jr. and Richard at the same time, and it ended up in both of their deaths. And we're for sure that Richard, because we have it, we have the receipts that Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss, and now we have confirmation that it was an order. Now we are not privy to the information for Glenn and Oakley Jr., but he was found dead um, in April of 2020, just, a few months before Richard. So, but that retaliation to silence them was going on. And I think there's plenty of witnesses. And the case has been broken. We have the prime suspects. Leilani Hart is a prime suspect. Her son, Dallas Hart, was Richard's platoon leader, is a prime suspect. The CID agent that went bad is a dirty agent. Well, I think he always was a dirty agent, Tavita Nusa. He's a prime suspect. And it goes on and on. And, I don't want to forget Jonathan Ambrose. I don't want to forget Danae Katzen. I don't want to forget all of the KTSM and the El Paso Matters and the DA's office. And I'm going to go through, there's so many bad actors here. Uh, and but the point that we're trying to make is that Richard's case has been broken. And I think the whole Chris Martin information that we have received lately has, really, you know, really put all the missing pieces together in a really sad way for us, in a really heartbreaking way for us. It's, and we're going to connect so many dots, and you'll understand that we are so authentic in this and our heartbreak, because how could you not be? And you're going to be heartbroken too when you understand all of these puzzle pieces putting together and you see the picture. It's heartbreaking, but it is absolutely necessary to expose this criminal network that has been working and doing, being up to no good for so long, hurting so many people. And it has to be exposed in order for us to come together. And if it takes a class action lawsuit, if it takes fighting for restitution. And what do I mean by that? Why am I even talking like that? It's because there has been official impersonation. Richard's case is broken, and it has been broken for a long time. Um, but there, but we're just finding out all the pieces. You understand? They already know all the pieces. They already know who murdered Richard. They already know who ordered the murder of Richard. They already know exactly everything that happened to Glennon Oakley Jr. They know what happened in the Walmart mass shooting. They know they even had to call out Ernest Christopher Grant as a liar, right? Because the orchestration went wrong. There were too many lies, and the lies did, um, conflicted with each other. And so they were trying to make up new lies or trying to spin whatever to undo the big spaghetti conflict of lies um, that they were telling everybody. And what slowed this down, what obstructed justice was the whole COVID thing, right? And we absolutely know that that was obstructing because it was obstructing us in getting answers for Richard. And it did not make sense because, the whole point was we care about lives of people. And yet we saw firsthand how they would use it to destroy lives of people. And, so it was political. It was a political move on a political chessboard. And I believe that more than believe it, that the Walmart mass shooting was a political move. And the deaths and the code red murder of Richard were political moves, first and foremost, to shut them up, to absolutely protect their positions because they are engaged, the prime suspects, and I'm going to name them, are engaged in official impersonation. And that official impersonation um, is when people say they have authority, when people say that uh, they have a badge or they have a robe on or whatever, but yet in reality, they have no authority. And El Paso is just covered with official impersonation. And what that does is allow the criminal network to carry on and even grow because they are controlling the system with official impersonation. And, let's go through the list. I'm not going to mention Judge San Medrano. He is a judge, right, that I know of, unless something happened. But I will say this, we are hearing from more and more that uh, El Paso voices are getting louder and louder in their objection to Judge San Medrano, calling him the most corrupt official in El Paso history. I mean, uh, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I heard it wrong, but what I do know for sure is the words for him are not nice. And but they're accurate. But they're accurate. Uh, they're not being vile and vulgar. They're just saying he is dirty. He is corrupt. He is up to no good. And they're absolutely accurate. Absolutely accurate. And because of that, I'm putting him at the head before I tell you who's being the impersonators. Um, but when you have a deprivation. This is the legal term, and I think everyone needs to learn these legal terms if you want restitution. Um, and what is restitution? To get paid back, and then some more. Because the people in El Paso have to pay taxes, and they pay taxes to have honest services. And when you have, and this is the legal term of it, and I've been learning it myself, it's called deprivation of honest services. And Judge Madrano has deprived the people of El Paso district, the district he covers, of honest services. He's not honest. He's dishonest. He is corrupt. He's dirty, and he's up to no good. And now that doesn't mean that the people of El Paso don't have to pay taxes. But what it does mean is that they can put in a complaint and say, look, we want restitution. We want our money back from him. We want restitution for what he did. And I think that they would be absolutely legal and right and biblical. They would be absolutely biblical. They would be absolutely honoring God to do just that. Because to allow this kind of criminality to continue, and for that criminality to be paid for by the very people that are disgusted of the criminality, is unjust, is injustice, right? Is unjust, right? So our jobs as Christians, our jobs as people that love the law, is to establish the law, establish it. So the law allows for restitution. And, so I'm not a lawyer, but I absolutely know that the law allows for restitution when there is a deprivation of honest services. So with that, I want to go into some of the, and I'll even talk about the 2 assassination attempts on President Trump, putting that all together. But, first and foremost, we need to talk about what this case is broken. But because there is official impersonation, those that make the people of El Paso County, think that they have an official there, but they have no authority. No authority. So that because of that, they are ripe for blackmail, ripe for corruption. When you know that you have no right to be there and you are stealing taxpayers' money, right? And pretending to be whatever official, pretending that you have authority, and yet legally you don't. And you have people that know the law in certain places, and they easily can blackmail you. They can easily control you. They can easily tell you how to make your judgments, how to do your duty, who to arrest, who to jail. And, let's talk about this Ryan Wesley Ruth for just a minute. Yesterday, I broke it here that he was not authentic, that he is a mouthpiece, that he is an impersonator. He is not a a patriot. He is not someone that is for Ukraine. He is not someone that's for Taiwan. He is not anything like that. He is absolutely an operative. And this has been all over the news today because he's a criminal. So if you tell him to say uh, the sun is blue, he will say the sun is blue. If you want to say the sky is purple, or let's something more outrageous, that horse is purple, he'll say that horse is purple. He has no loyalty to anything. And his whole life history so far declares that he's not authentic at all. He has no stand. He is a thief. He's not authentic. He is so pliable, so malleable. He's a conman. And so when he goes to Ukraine and he's not talking for America. He's not talking as a patriot. He's not talking as a man that has any kind of moral stand. He is just framing a narrative that was given to him. He's framing a narrative. That's our opinion. That's it's not just our opinion. You can see it all over the news. He is an impersonator. Now, who knows what happened yesterday in Florida? And did he act alone? Well, his whole history is not acting alone. He doesn't have, you know, I mean, the when you size him up, he's for hire. He's for hire. So, or all of that criminal activity, never a day in jail, never a day in jail. And he has like, I don't know how many pages listed of criminal activity. So, that really is important when you're looking at Richard's case, when you're looking at the Walmart case, which Richard's case is combined, when you're looking at Leilani Hart, why she hasn't been arrested. Why hasn't Leilani Hart been arrested? Why hasn't Tavita Nusa been arrested? Why hasn't Chris Martin been arrested? Why hasn't James Courtney Hart been arrested? Why hasn't Dallas Hart been arrested? And many, many more. And many more. I would say many more. I could be here all night listing the people that absolutely should be arrested and prosecuted. And why haven't they? And it's because we have the answer. It's because of official impersonation. Official impersonation and deprivation of honest service. So that is going to be repeated and repeated in this. And I just mentioned Judge Sam Medrano being an official, working for the people of El Paso, and him depriving them of honest service. That's criminal. The next one is Penny Hamilton. Penny Hamilton is at the moment, well, let's just say she's retired from the El Paso Criminal Law Magistrate Court. She was appointed. That makes her an impersonator. She never had the authority. Well, unless it was before 2015. She, out, during her time, and especially in Richard's case, because during Richard's case, she was the senior impersonator, for the magistrate court. And so her hands were all over all of these cases illegally. She's a criminal. She is an impersonator, an official impersonator. And she's getting retirement money for that, for her impersonation. She had to be elected, not appointed. And because of that fact, she absolutely is an impersonator, a fake, a fraud, a con artist. That's what she is. And, and where did she go? She went in to serve. Right now, what we hear is she's in the DA's office. She is working for another official impersonator. His name is Bill Hicks, who is a usurper. He could not install himself properly. He has money. He had money. He had to do what he did, which was mess with the election of a duly elected district attorney, Yvonne Rosales. He deprived. So he has a deprivation of honest services, absolutely, and it's well, both of them do. It's like a double whammy. It's probably a triple whammy. It's probably a trifecta. It's probably even more of their crimes that they've committed. He does not have the authority. If you do not follow the Texas Constitution and how to become an official, to be paid by the taxpayers to provide honest services, then you are an impersonator. And Bill Hicks is a usurper because our open records show that he schemed to take away the election of the people of El Paso, to take away their will, to take away their authority. So he is a major criminal, and this is a very big deal. It really is a big deal, and he needs to be taken away in handcuffs. The other one is all the other judges. While they're not judges, they're impersonators. They're impersonating as judges on the magistrate court, and they are criminals, and they absolutely know. And they're because you see, they're not performing honest services. They are allowing a criminal network to get away with their crimes for hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied children to be trafficked and mostly dead. They are allowing the fentanyl. They are allowing murderers they're botching cases. The other official impersonator is the chief medical examiner, Mario A. Rascon Ortiz. He is absolutely illegal. He's absolutely, I mean, and he's, wow, almost 450, if not that this year, $450,000 a year. Talk about getting restitution. They, the people of El Paso absolutely need to apply for restitution from these official impersonators that have deprived them of honest services. And you see how this is adding up. You have the DA's office who's in charge of prosecuting, not just prosecuting, but identifying crime, documenting crime, and prosecuting crime. That's a big deal. And then you have, of course, the chief medical examiner who is the judge of cause and manner of death. And we have absolute confirmation that the autopsy reports were botched in the Walmart mass shooting case. That they were stinky, very stinky in the truth. I mean, obscene that they clearly were not right. And so when you have a chief medical examiner that is impersonating that position and has no authority, when you have someone in a usurper in the DA's office impersonating the authority of the, you know, and in front of Sam Madrano is allowing this, right? That's how why he's so corrupt. I can't even stress it enough how corrupt he is. He is so corrupt. And of course, then the impersonators of an entire court that is ruling over 90% of the cases, and they have no authority to do it. And I'm not even finished there because another one that was an official impersonator is Justin Underwood. Justin Underwood in the ad litem case, I mean, in the Walmart case as an ad litem, had no authority to be an ad litem. It was for scheming. So, and I'll talk more about that because, you know, they are not, you noticed that Judge Madrano, they did not mention at all Justin Underwood in this last hearing. He is an absolute criminal, Justin Underwood is. And Judge Madrano's covering for him. That's how dirty this judge is. And don't forget that Justin Underwood schemed along with Bob Moore of El Paso Matters, representing El Paso Community Foundation, and Bill Hicks to unseat Yvonne Rosales. And even John Briggs was an official impersonator. John Briggs, who has been on the Walmart, you know, the lead criminal prosecutor for the Walmart case, under Jaime Esparza, under Yvonne Rosales until he was fired, and then with Bill Hicks, he has been there. He's a main player. And when he was fired from prosecuting the Walmart mass shooting, he became an official impersonator. He went to the chambers of San Medrano to keep up appearances, quote unquote, and he admitted to deceiving Yvonne Rosales and Joe Spencer, impersonating that he was still on the case. This is a deprivation of honest services. And there needs to be restitution. And they need to be held accountable for their criminal activity and their criminal impersonation. So, matter of fact, I'm going to write him down here because I'm keeping a list of all of these official impersonators that now you understand. How can the Halliday family, investigating 4 years, absolutely get the declaration of death? Absolutely, it has on there and the insurance that Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss. Now we have these leads and this information and we know it. We know it because, we're not new to the military. We went into these meetings with Sean Bernabe, who needs to be absolutely stripped and arrested, along with the IG of the Army, Donna Martin. She needs to be stripped. This is deprivation of honest services. And much more because they're military. They absolutely, it's treasonous what they've done. And all of those meetings and the lying to us, and one of the big lies was to cover up for another official impersonator, and that's Nadal Baim. They've come back and they've told us he's not FBI. Look, you haven't arrested him. And we have it on video that he told that cashier that he was an FBI agent. So he was impersonating and you're letting him do it. So that means that the FBI there, Nieto, is also depriving us from honest services. Because it's his office that absolutely should arrest Nadal Baim, who is somebody, right? He is somebody. He is all over this case. And I call him an agent for the FBI because he hasn't been arrested. And, then is he a informant, right? Because the informants are huge. Is he for hire? Like this Ryan Wesley, who, when I watch Ryan Wesley, and he was in the news, he was a media sweetheart, y'all. This Ruth guy, right? Ryan Wesley, he was like Ernest Christopher Grant. Just framing a false narrative, giving us a matrix of lies, right? To move doesn't that make you upset? They want to lie to you. They have no problems lying to you. When I was studying American history, and many people don't know this, but, and I studied it because I was homeschooling, not because of something I learned in school, but because I was homeschooling. And I have the book right in front of me. um, on this shelf here. But when I was studying that to present it, and really, when your children get a certain age, they start growing up and they start learning about these, finer details about American history, then, you can just give them reading and um, just taking them to different places. I love Mount Vernon. I love, believe it or not, the whole history of the United States is fascinating, because we have star forts going up and down the East Coast. Uh, don't know as much about the West Coast, even though my dad was from uh, Portland, Oregon, but know more about the East Coast. It's so fascinating to get the real picture of the United States, and it's exciting, and you can give that to your children and they'll just start doing it because it's so exciting. It's kind of like, it was shocking to me that Hannah wanted to learn Korean, and she did. Just that simple. I'm going to learn it. It has Hangul, and um, that was it. And they just have interests, and they will do what God has given them in their gifts to do, and it's just amazing. And so when I was going through American history, one of the really interesting things that I learned is that in the court system, you could not be a witness in any case unless you were a baptized Christian. Now, that was eh, that might joggle your senses a little bit. It did mine. It was like, what? You could not be a witness in a case unless you were a baptized Christian. And the law was clear that anybody else would readily lie and could not be trusted. Not that a baptized Christian wouldn't lie, but that the chances of it were less. And they had a fear of God. And that was the language. They had a fear of God. Most of them had a fear of God, and that would restrain the lies, the tendency for people to lie. Wow. Wow. I absolutely understand that now. I didn't understand that then. But the level of lies, the manufactured witnesses, the framing of false narratives, and absolutely Leilani Hart um, impersonated a witness, right? Impersonated. Well, she also impersonated in our uh, files an official also, saying that she was a security agent, security person. Um, so just a fake, a fraud. And it's like Danae Katzen, a impersonating a witness. And she's a fake and a fraud, and she does it all the time. And then you have Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia being a fake witness and even a fake widow, because she's clearly a fake widow. And this is what started some big problems because she wanted that victim's money from the El Paso Community Foundation. I think she got it. I think she got tens of thousands of dollars, right? And she's a fraud. I think there needs to be some restitution there. Why do they get to commit this fraud, get this money, and get away with it, and then not have to pay restitution? They need to pay restitution for their thievery. And the law clearly is, double it up. Pay what you stole and a penalty, pay it again. And I think that's a good idea because otherwise they keep doing it. If they get away with it, they keep doing it. And these, like Ernest Christopher Grant, not authentic, impersonating. Of course, Nadal Baim I got. Um, Mario Raskin Ortiz, John Briggs, Justin Underwood, Danae Katzen, Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, the Mag Court judges. Well, they're not judges, they're imposters. Leilani Hart, Bill Hicks, Penny Hamilton. And I would even say, let's really reach. I would even say Kamala right now. Kamala is an official impersonator to me because she has denied the votes of the people. Why is she there? They got desperate because they weren't honest um, with the American people about the mental health of Joe Biden. Is that why they decided to do this official impersonation? And it's not just me saying it. It's very clear. It's out there everywhere. And it's the same people letting it happen on the macro level and the micro level, the federal level, and then there in El Paso. Because where is Veronica Escobar in all of this? She is depriving her constituents of honest service. Absolutely. Because the FBI has absolutely protected Nadal Baim, the official impersonator. And she's, I'm going to call the FBI. But what about her whole district under the usurper, Bill Hicks? What about her whole district under the illegal Mario Raskin Ortiz, who's ripe? That is so ripe for corruption when you are the determiner of the cause and manner of death. And then what does she know about the impersonators of the Mag Court? Yeah. It is it's going to be interesting. What does Montoya feel about all of this? I think that's interesting because um he's supposed to be coming up, right? And of course, we're just waiting and praying for Yvonne Rosales. But with this official impersonation and denying and depriving the people there in El Paso of honest service, we need a lot. Please share this. Please record what I'm saying. Please get this out. There needs to be on the radio. There needs to be in the media there. the notification to the people that they are being conned and deprived. And that's why, you know, the taxes go up and so does the crime. And I think Christopher Morales, I think the other family members of the victims of the El Paso, the Walmart mass shooting, also need to be notified of the level of fraud going on in the official oppression so that they can understand uh, official impersonation, so that they can understand why nothing was done because there was no authority. And they're afraid because you look, this is a capital murder case. If they uh, if they charge Patrick Crucius with a capital murder in a case that has been orchestrated and there is no way, and this is something else I wanted to, this is breaking news now. But if they charge him and they put him to death, then they're guilty of murder. So they just delay, 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 delay. Everything makes sense when you understand what's happening. And I do want to talk about um, uh, information coming into us about this retired FBI agent that was shot and killed there at Franklin High School at the El Paso Independent School District. Julio Cordona, I believe his name is. I hope I got that right. I'm doing it from memory. Um, well, the information coming into us is that he was an active FBI agent in 2020. So 2019, and I'll get back. I hope I have it right, but that, and definitely with the Walmart mass shooting, and I should have reviewed my notes. We've been getting so much information. But definitely for the Walmart mass shooting, he was an active FBI. This is before he retired. And he said, witnessed that no way was it possible for Patrick Crucius to shoot that many bullets to injure 23 people, to kill 23 people. No way. In that amount of time, that way, what he was doing, and no way. Something was really stinky with the Walmart mass shooting. And, so this is really concerning for us that he was shot at Franklin High School and he was shot dead. I have to take a deep breath. Christ have mercy, Lord have mercy, Christ have mercy on us for having to expose all of this. But what else are we to do? We have to expose it. How many people have to die? I don't think his family is very happy. The chaos it creates. Richard absolutely is a hero. And they tried to make him out to be a criminal. And it was so absurd. To us, we knew that they were lying. But to the media, we didn't even know that the media was so rotten. And they are. They are so rotten. So we really appreciate the alternative media. We really appreciate all of you tuning in. We appreciate you to share this and to share that Richard was a hero, a true hero. And we're going to honor him by exposing what he was reporting. And God will do the rest. God will do the rest. So thank you so much. Thank you, Anicia, for coming on. I see that you came on, and I'm sorry it's so late. Here it is already, the next day. But get this out, share it, and we will be back tomorrow. Thank you so much. God bless you. Bye bye.